Music, industry talk, stories, equipment and more. We are Crossfader and this is off the record. Off the record. Off the record.
Yes, gang, welcome back to this week's Off the Record DJ podcast with me, Lawrence James.
And me, Jamie Hartley.
How are we doing?
Yeah, not too bad actually. Obviously, sun's out in the UK.
It is sunny.
You've probably heard us talking about how miserable it's been for the last 10 months.
Such a British thing, starting a podcast about weather, innit?
Yeah, it is nice.
There's a lot juicier gossip out there.
Okay.
Right. There has been some juicy beef in the world, and I want to catch you up on it because I know you don't know much about it. So
I don't know.
I'm going to go full in on what is the talking point of the world at the minute, which is Drake and Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Now, it's a DJ podcast, but I'm just going to go into sort of the beef on sort of just a generic brief of what it's about. So last year, there was a song called First Person Shooter Mode.
Right.
That was by J. Cole and Drake, right?
Okay.
And they were suggesting that there was a big three.
It's like a new school hip-hop education.
It is, yeah. They were suggesting that there was basically a big three, which is J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, and Drake, right? Then Metro Boomin, who is Drake's producer for a long time, big hip-hop producer, and Future dropped an album called We Don't Trust You, right? This was recent. This was like about 2 or 3 months ago. There was a track on it by Kendrick Lamar, and it was just a very quick line in it saying there's no big three, it's just big me, meaning he's the guy, and you two need to back off, right? So then J. Cole released a diss verse, he released an album, and then on that album there was a diss track on it to Kendrick Lamar, right?
Yeah.
Then the day after his album came out, or a couple of days after, he went on stage and said, look, it's not what I'm about, this beef live. I want to take a back seat. It's not my path. It's not who
Kendrick
I am anymore. No. J. Cole said this after he released a diss.
Okay.
The whole hip hop world hated that because that's not what beef's about, right?
Yeah.
It is about going toe to toe, and it's not about backing down.
He was scared.
Yeah. So then Kendrick doubled down and did a full on like Drake diss. And then loads of people have come out of the woodwork and done Drake disses. Everyone's turned their back against Drake. Rick Ross has done a diss.
Wait, hold on. So
yes.
what did Drake do to start with?
It's basically
Because wasn't it J. Cole?
Yes, he is.
I'm lost
Basically, 20 people are attacking him. Basically, so there's A$AP Rocky, there's Rick Ross, Kanye's done a diss about him. Everyone's just coming after the number one guy, right?
Yeah,
it's all caused by this future Metro Boomin album. Anyway, back and forth over the last week, it's been Kendrick Lamar dropped a track about Drake. Drake then dropped a track about everybody. Kendrick did an even worse diss track to Drake. It was really brutal. I'm not going to talk about the topics, but it was brutal. Drake then did one back to him. Then Kendrick dropped the biggest one, which is a track called Not Like Us, which is basically a club track dissing Drake, calling him all sorts. And that's gone like number one in like Toronto, where Drake's from. It's like, It's had like gangsters from West Coast and East Coast like dancing together in streets. It's that good of a diss. And then Drake has finally put a last one out called The Heart Part 6, and that's important because Kendrick Lamar's got a collection of songs called The Heart Part 1, 2, 3, 4, so he's done Part 6. And it seems to be over now, right? It seems to be that Kendrick Lamar has won, and that's where we're at with it. But for hip-hop fans, this has been amazing because it's all gone a bit vanilla lately in hip-hop and rap, and it's all a bit, pop music and all that kind of stuff. So to get back to some, like, bar-for-bar exercises.
I'm impressed at how quick they can get a track out there across platforms.
So the way Kendrick won is, so Kendrick did a diss track to Drake. Then it took Drake maybe 2 or 3 days to reply. He did a reply with a whole video and everything.
Wow.
An hour later, Kendrick uploaded a diss track back.
So and that was like, he was already had it in the back catalog. He's already made like 5.
Yeah. But Drake was sitting there thinking, right, here's my reply. I am Drake. Here we go. Not even an hour later, there was a potentially a better reply. So that's where it's at. And I think at now we're all a bit like fatigued. And it's like, okay, that's done.
We've done it.
Kendrick's won. I put a poll out on our Instagram. Saying, who won this beef? Let me see the results. So if I go to results, view results, 81% said Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot. So I've asked a question, guys, and we are live, by the way. Hello to everyone watching on Facebook and YouTube. Talk about beefs. Let us know your DJ beefs right now in the industry. So let us know what your number one beef is right now in the industry. And let us know. But that's the beef catch up for you.
I mean, yeah, I've had an education real quick. I came into the office and you're like, whoa, have you heard what's happening? I'm like, nope.
Yeah, because you've not been really here present.
Not been present,
have you?
No.
So that is where we're at with the Drake beef. We won't be beefing today. Don't worry about it. It's all
good.
It's all pleasure. But let's talk about. We'll stay on sort of the hip hop R&B topic because we got a question. And it relates to sort of music within DJ education. Before I get to that, though, if you are watching live, we have got this like shiny new box with us here. And it is from our friends at UNIQCUBE, which is UNIQCUBE, right? And it is basically a customized light box. And it can change colour. Jamie, have you got the colour thingy changer? It's got 4 sides to it. It's got 4 sides to it. I can move it around, right? It's got 4 sides. You can see we've got the We Are Crossfader. We've got the Crossfader branding. We've got Off the Record podcast here, which looks amazing. And then we've got some decks on the other side of it. And then on the other side, we've got the Crossfader logo. So if you are watching, it's a cool little cube thing. And this has been used by various DJ brands and in the industry. It was used out in ADE as well. And yeah, it's great in the centers one, and they've given us a code as well. So if you do like live streams, if you're a DJ who does live streams and you want to get this for your setup, we think we're going to make it a permanent fixture somewhere. We might hang it above our heads. Yeah. If you want it for your setup, then you can use the code. Is it Crossfader 15?
Just Crossfader.
Just Crossfader for 15% off a UNIQUBE. So it's UNIQCUBE, and just search for that. And yeah, you can have a look.
We're going to do a bit more content on it. So the people that do watch, YouTube and things, you will see more on it. The one thing to bear in mind, it flat packs. It's meant to sort of like pack away pretty easy to put in your backpack and then pop up at a gig.
It's cool.
I like it.
Cool. Getting on to our topic of the day, which is all around, do DJs need new music? So I've got a question here from a student of ours. And he says, question for DJs primarily who play hip-hop and R&B. But this goes for all DJs, I think. So I've noticed that I'm out in places, bars, clubs. They play a lot of hip-hop, R&B theme music. The DJ often plays music that is mostly 10 to 15 years old. And I rarely hear music getting played that's been out in the last few years.
This is a good point then.
All recognisable classic songs from popular artists. I've seen this where crowds are in their 20s to crowds that are in their 40s. I often wonder why more current, younger artists aren't being played more often. Is there a reason this may be? Is it a matter of them not being able to narrow down a crowd, what a crowd would like today? Streaming has changed music so people can stick with artists who can't stick with artists who are not well known without hearing what's popular in the radio and the charts. Do you find this yourself? How much new music you listen to, like day to day?
So personally, I listen to maybe, let's say, 20% of the music I listen to try to be new music, depending on how Spotify is feeling that day and what it wants to deliver to me. There's certain artists that I'm always trying to, I'm always, as soon as it gets released, you're listening to it. But to be honest, my listening routine is to go on Spotify and use daily mixes, go on radio, use radio on Spotify from an artist that I like, and then I just let it play.
So this is where I think it's happening. So if you go back even 10 years or 15 years where it was physical copies or pay for downloads, there would be, let's say there's 10 major radio stations where you are, and they're all playing a hit list, an A list and a B list. That was kind of all the music choice that was out there. So is it very easy to get attached to a certain artist, go and buy their album, and you're quite intentional about how you listen to music, right? Whereas now, like you say, you aren't intentional how you listen to music. No. You press play on a genre, and it's away we go. And I'm at the gym for an hour, and I'm like, I like this song, but sometimes I don't even look who it is.
No, same. So there's times where someone will be like, have you heard this song? Like, I don't know. And then someone will play it like, I've heard it 100 times.
It's like my favourite song. I just don't know who sings it.
So this is interesting because if you think about it, like you said, there's a certain amount of music, say 20 years ago, there's a certain amount of music in the world, but to listen to that music, you might have to tune into a radio station. You might have to go physically buy it. You can't just acquire and say, I want to listen to that music right here, right now. So that's how the game's changed. Now, the problem is that because we can listen to all new music instantly, that it's exponential, the growth of music available to us. Because music doesn't go anywhere now. Before, you might have to really dig deep to try and find an old album or something. You have to reorder it off some back catalogue or some secondhand website. Now it's just all there in the same platform. So it's only growing exponentially. And I think people are getting fatigued with this idea of there's too much music.
Big time.
And I think that's potentially why people stick to some of the what are now classics or considered classics, is because those tracks were released within like a manageable amount of releases, let's say.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Within a year.
Yeah.
And there were hits within that year.
Yeah.
And it was predominant like, here are the hits for that year. That's why there was now CDs and stuff. However, with this day and age, we have access to all the obscure genres we want, everything we want. And I think that makes it harder for a DJ because of the scope of what we have access to. And then it's, I'll just go with the safe option. You know, I'll go with what I know people like. Also, people like myself liked a lot of that old school hip hop, a lot of the party hip hop from around when I was, going out and clubbing. Now I don't listen to hip hop as much. I'm not into, the latest beef between Kendrick and Drake. That's not what my interests are. But I still enjoy all the old school hip hop that I grew up with. And if I were to throw a party now or have a wedding, which is happening soon, I'd want some of that old school hip hop there. So it's a safe bet again, because that even people that potentially don't listen to hip hop anymore, they're going to, enjoy some old school Beyonce and Fat Man Scoop and all the party hip hop that gets played all the time.
This isn't an issue of a DJ being a bit more experienced and not liking new music, by the way, because I play still regular and I play with younger guys or like 20, 21, and then I play a lot myself and I experiment, and I because I play quite a lot, I hate my sets being very similar. So I'm downloading the new tracks and I'm finding the new tracks and I'm playing them and they're just not hitting. And it's not like it's like, I'm just gonna stick and I'll try. And then what I actually find is I just end up finding different edits of the tracks
of the same.
So it's like it's still the classic tracks, but they are just edits of them, which do work because again, people do want to do it. You want to be unique, and they don't want it just. They can go anywhere and listen to the top Drake songs, but if you can find good edits and stuff like that, it works. But this isn't just like a generational thing. You will find it more like tracks going off. I think it's more like festival culture where you expect to go see the artist and then hear the new music that the artist produce. Whereas just in a club night and a club scene, I just think that it's hard. Like you say, intentionally listening to music isn't really a thing as much as it was, and you just do get swept away with what Spotify tells you to like. So if you're getting, if I'm pressing play on a genre and you're pressing play on a genre, we're getting fed different artists all the time. So a crowd of 100 people have got 100 different music tastes.
And they're getting music specific to them that they love. Which actually, I remember when, I was probably about 10 years ago now, when working regularly and streaming services weren't integrated into DJ software or anything. People used to go out to hear songs, right? People used to go out to... You didn't know what the club tracks were, especially in the house and house scene and disco scene, things like that. You'd go out to hear those songs. I remember, that's where you went to hear them.
I remember coming up and listening to dance hall and bashment, and that wasn't on radio. You couldn't really go and listen to that on radio. You go to the club to hear that music.
And we've lost that a bit.
A little bit.
There's still the scenes, right?
Yeah.
And it's still a way for tracks to blow up. But this is the thing: a track can blow up, and everyone goes, track ID, cool. Let me put it on my Spotify.
Is this genre specific though? Because it doesn't apply, does it, in like house music as much? So I'm not going to, the new whoever's blowing up as a house DJ. They're not going to play like Swedish House Mafia, or because house music it goes in different trends and different genres. Don't they? Do you know what I mean? It's cooler to have newer music and people sort of shazamming that.
So for a house music song to provide the experience in the environment that it's in, it just needs to have some kind of energy to it, right? And maybe you've never heard the song before and it can still provide a reaction. Whereas in the hip hop and R&B world, it's all vocal based, right?
Yes, it is.
It's all vocal. So to get a reaction out of it, they need to have already heard the song and have some attachment to the lyrics, right? You're attaching to the lyrics and the message in the song rather than the rhythm and the feeling and the beat as much. So there is a different approach. And again, why, if we go back to the hip hop scene, why maybe 80% of people's hip-hop sets, stuff that they know is safe and that they know that the crowd already know and can sing along to, because that's going to get the reaction in the club. But I would say, what about So this is where live streaming or trying to get like a set on a local radio or something would be great, because you could use that opportunity to explore newer music trends, share music that you're interested in, because you're not forced to have to please that crowd. So if you feel like you're just playing these same sets all the time to please the crowd, like find the other outlet 100%. That allows you to explore that. I remember when I did a local like pirate radio station, I didn't get anything out of it. I was working 6 nights a week, but I wanted to do the pirate radio station, not to try and build a following, not to do anything, but simply to be able to play the music I couldn't play out. Because I loved the music.
The perfect place to exercise that would be something like Mixcloud, where you can go on there, you've got the sort of top genres, so you could be like, okay, what are people playing in my genre, and they're getting plays. You can then put your new mixes out and you'll get reactions and comments and stuff like that, and you can sort of gauge what's popular. If you've missed any of them, if some like new tracks have like slipped through your fingers and stuff like that. But you're right about wanting to have like an attachment when you go out to these songs. Even like when I go to like a concert, I'll be like, right, I'll listen to that new album a week before. So it's fresh in my head, so that when I go, I can have even more of an emotional attachment to like whoever's rapping or singing or whatever it is. But yeah, it's an interesting one. I think, with house and electronic music, it is a lot different, where big songs blow up in a few ways, can't they, in electronic scenes, where like there'll be a clip of a new Fisher track at a festival where it drops, loads of people go off, and everyone's like, I want that experience. So then that track takes on a life of its own. Same in drum and bass, where there'll be a Headex will drop a massive drop somewhere, and you'll be like, I want to be somewhere where he's playing that song at that time. Where is he playing next or something like that. So there's different ways. I've got some great responses from, I'll put this out as a question to the Crossfader community about, how much music do you need? Like, do you need to be on the hunt for new music all the time? Chapter and Verse says, we live in a bootleg world where everyone plays bootlegs. It goes to that thing, doesn't it? It's like, you say a lot in DJ sets, like, play 2 for them, 1 for you, or 3 for them, 1 for you. And it could be that way. You're playing 2 or 3 bootlegs, but then you're trying out a new song in between or something like that.
It's the reason why SoundCloud hasn't gone anywhere, because it is the home of like edits and bootlegs and bedroom producers making their own versions of things, which they are the tools that make your set as a DJ unique, because just like you said, you end up going and finding edits of things. You want people to still have the attachment to the song, but you want your sets to be unique to the next DJ, right? So 100%. It's this chase to find the edit or remix that the other DJs don't have, and that's why people get all very like gatekeeping around. I'm not sharing, my set with people. I'm not sharing these. It's exclusive.
We are live, by the way, and I can see some questions coming in. If you've got, jump in at any time, guys. We'll favourite some of your comments and your questions, and we'll get to them. We love interacting with you guys live. So if you've got any thoughts on how much music you use, how much music you listen to, how much music you download, how much music you DJ out with, let us know and we'll get to some. A comment from Nils Daniel says, I don't care how old a tune is, but I try to focus on songs people don't know but slap, creating this kind of vibe where other DJs in the crowd try to Shazam a tune because they know it's so good. But that plays into that whole edit culture, innit? You're in a crowd and you're like, what is this? And you try
taking it back to being a DJ, this is what I used to love as a DJ, because I did so many residency gigs where I'm having to play, the latest hits. I'm having to keep on top of the latest hits. And to make me stand out from other DJs, it's not even where can I find that exclusive edit, it's what can I do on the equipment to make this track exclusive to me. So that is the true exclusivity, because I haven't downloaded it from anywhere. I'm doing something live that is not available. So that was the challenge for me all the time, is can I, this is where people want acapellas, this is where people want instrumentals, where you want to like get creative by looping and tightening loops and using hot cues to jump around the track. All of those things play into making your set unique. And it's definitely a thing that I love to challenge myself with, take the biggest hit at the moment, but how do you make it unique to your set so that the listener and the audience go, okay, I've heard this 10 times in the last 5 weeks from all different DJs, but this stood out to me because I've not heard this before, and I can't find it anywhere because he's just done it live.
100%.
Stems are great for that.
Like you said, there's so many tools, and a new controller will come out and people will be like, oh my God, I can't believe it's not 4 channels. And then you're like, inside of like Rekordbox, you've got a sequencer and a sampler, and you can create your own mashups and stuff like that. So yeah, that's a great point. DJ Baxter says, I play new songs in my sets, but more warm up. Peak times, nothing new really works, but you have to put the new music in to sound different and relevant. That is a good point.
Yeah, I love warm-ups for this.
100%. Yeah, warm-ups is where your new music sits for like a while.
Yeah.
Until that new music becomes a hit. Almost, it's like, right, this song's blowing up. I'm going to play it super early, gauge the reaction, because it's still not as big as the big ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, finding new tracks for warm-ups is a great way in. And what I found as well with my set, I like to save all my histories on USB, so I can see what I've been playing and stuff. And I'll notice my sort of set will shift sort of from front end to back end. So like we've like new tracks really early on, but then 2 months later, them new tracks are then in the middle, and then 2 months later, them tracks are right at the end.
I mean, the good thing about that is you've committed those tracks then to your subconscious, and you've probably already set some hot cues while you've been playing around with it.
Yeah.
And it's not like, okay, this is the latest track. I've now got to figure out how to prepare it and what to play next with it. You've got a bit of backstory with it so that when it does blow up, you're already comfortable with the song.
Yeah.
Can I ask something actually before you go on to the next one? Do you still play hip hop and R&B sets on USB?
No. Hip hop and R&B sets are on Serato.
Yeah.
I played at R&B festival last week and it was on Serato, and it's because I use stems a lot.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't.
Do you know any DJs, hip hop and R&B DJs that just use USB?
No. It's very sort of culture led, and it's just also a lot more tools, and it's it is.
Finding songs quickly.
Well, yeah, exactly that. It's quick mixing is the whole basis of hip hop DJing, and with USB, even though with a set of 3000, it's a lot quicker, but it's just nowhere near as efficient as Serato is. Yeah. Having the library and some of the features on there, it's
harder to flow in the moment. I think
big time. 100%. Yeah. Karim says, strongly believe that if you are a DJ with no originals, always strive to play new music to always stay relevant. Again, I think that comes down to like genre. I think and staying relevant, because if I'm a hip hop DJ, I can stay relevant and not play any songs from the last 5 years. Yeah. No one's gonna no promoter or manager is gonna really notice the difference, because the dance floor will still go off. Yeah. I'm not gonna play it, but you know what I mean.
You've got to bear in mind as well the difference between us talking about your standard residencies, where it's your bars and clubs around your local city, versus your more music-orientated, culture-led events, where those events are looking for someone who's going to bring something fresh and new and bring some of their culture into the space and the event. So there's definitely two sides to it here, where you could lean into just trying to find really new music, hidden gems, stuff that nobody else knows, but the pool of gigs available, this is the difference, the pool of gigs available will probably be much smaller, and it'll be harder to tap into that market. True. So it's something to bear in mind, especially for any new DJs that are listening, because I know we get a lot of people saying, I just want to share my music with the world. I want to share what I love with the world, and that's great. But it can only get you so far to start with, usually. Not all the time, but usually.
Yeah. This is a good point, and I think this kind of is what it comes down to. Kamal says, it's good to play new music, but these days the crowd wants to hear the top 100. And this is the thing. It's like, it's okay trying to like download a load of new music and play, and you want to be front edge, but what are the crowd there for, and what is your gig? What does your gig look like? Because if the crowd don't want it, your main job is to entertain the crowd. So if they're just actually not there for it, and that's not your crowd, and you don't really need to sort of always keep up if that's not the crowd. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Simple.
G says, I add onto my music library. I don't replace it.
Yeah.
If a track that I have is 20 years old and it bangs, at a certain point in time, it's getting played. Forget the rules and regulations. Play the music that equates to your soul and life experiences. But yeah, that's a good point.
It definitely is. I think that's summed up well. You're constantly evolving your music collection. Yeah. And there's certain tracks that will always stay there and probably get added to any new playlist you create. You just know it's a classic, it works. But you can start to experiment with how you combine the classics, the hitters, with the new music. And again, just taking back to that rule of 2 for them, 1 for you. Could you do it in a similar way where it's like 2 tracks they know, 1 they maybe don't? So it's not even for you. It's just education as well. And this is the type of artist you like, but you don't know this song yet because it's brand new or it's an album track, but I think you're going to enjoy it. So, yeah.
Chase B says, electronic music, 60% new, open format music 0% new. So I guess it does go to that genre thing where you could, in an open format set, you could get away with not playing anything from the last few years, whereas an electronic music set, a lot of people are out there with Shazams in the hand, like wanting to hear new and going for that experience as well. Going for that. Petio says, got to play their favourites no matter how old, but also you need to play the new stuff that they don't know is their favourite yet too. Again, just giving them a bit of an experience, but also making sure they're having a good time.
It's hard to think ahead and go, I think this is going to be their favourite in 3 months' time, 2 months' time. Whatever.
Yeah, well, that's
really
where warm-up come in, because you're like, this is my favourite. I like this.
Yeah.
So let's see if people like this. You know, maybe it's on like top of a few playlists, so you're like, okay, this is getting played or not. Play it early or play it really late and see what the vibe is. We've got some comments of flying.
Maybe, but we've got Danny here. He says, I've been replaced by a box.
Oh yeah, Danny's been replaced by this UNIQCUBE box, which we really enjoy.
To be honest, I can't check the comments while there's just 2 of us.
All right, yeah, cool. Well,
I'm listening to your beautiful voice.
What we'll do is we're going to get stuck into a bit of an add to playlist.
Yes.
In the meantime, do you want to tell people why they should take a cross with Crossfader and get 20% off?
I will. Right, so while Lawrence goes and sets up with my favourite game, I've enjoyed this game so much. I'm just going to tell you why it's important to know about our Off The Record discount. It's the discount code Off The Record for all of our courses, including the new open format course that's launched, Flex 4 Beginner and Pro course that is included now on our website. Use the code Off The Record. The reason why? Well, we've got it all covered. So you can take your skills in any direction, whether you're a beginner, whether you're an improver in your bedroom but want to take it to the clubs, everything from how to get gigs to CDJ Masterclass. We've thought about all the different avenues and routes that you could take as a DJ and then mapped out education around that. So go and check out the whole range of courses on wearecrossfader.co.uk. Lawrence, are you ready to play me some bangers?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, let me just turn you up a little bit.
Yes. Hello, guys. So this is Add to Playlist. So we're basically going to play 5 or 6 new tracks. Jamie's going to rate them. He's going to give them an energy rating. He's going to see what the vibe is, what playlist this will get added to, kind of what genre this is, and if he's feeling it, and hopefully give you guys some new edits for your DJ sets. All of these tracks will be in Discord afterwards. So are we ready for the first one?
Yeah, and help me out, everyone.
Yes.
So I'm feeling the little steel pan.
Yes. There's a nice little build-up on this.
Pull up in a demon on guard, looking like I still do fraud. Flying private jet with the rod. It's that Z shit, it's that Z shit. Pull up in a demon on guard, looking like I still do fraud. Flying private jet with the rod. It's that Z shit, it's that Z shit.
Okay, yeah. This is a bit of me.
Oh, yeah.
This is a bit of me.
It's a little roller, isn't it?
I think this is energy rating. If we're doing it out of 10, I think we're about a 6.
I think we usually do by 5.
Okay, by 5. So a 3 for me.
Oh, yeah?
So 3 energy rating. This would go into my, like, if I was to, you probably know this if you listen to previous podcasts, but my playlist, this would be something like warm-up rollers. So I get descriptive in them.
Yeah, this is great. This is Sven Vels, and it's called the ZZ Edit. This is...
Oh, yeah, that ZZ tune, yeah.
Like it, but this is 128 BPM. Feels like 124-ish, doesn't it? But it's got that kind of, like, summer, like... Play this on a beach.
Yeah, it's a great bar tune, and it's a great bridge tune to go from the warm-up to the main set if you're playing this style of music, in my mind.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, that's going in the playlist.
You like that one?
I like that one.
Cool.
Do you know what's really hard operating the podcast as well as like taking part in it?
Right, switching up. I'm wondering if Danny has actually played this one before because it's a flow down edit. You might have not heard this one.
Okay.
But if I have, we'll play another one. But
no worries.
Let's go.
Listen, it's music culture. So me rise umbrella on a vulture. Me no want no pagan come round. I'm a stand up in the front. I see like a soldier, but don't play.
Danny can tell me if he's played this before. But I found this the other day and I was like, oh yeah.
I love like a silent drop, silent break before the drop.
Here we go.
Okay.
I feel like this was on one of Danny's, but I had to play this.
This is a UK crew tune.
Yeah. Garage vibes.
Absolute banger.
Yeah.
So that is like energy rating 5 because you've got that. I love it when it goes really quiet before a drop. People don't know what's coming. They can't even anticipate what's coming. Right, it's going 5 out of 5 energy rating. I would save this for more to peak time. it's got space to add something else to like cut in some other vocal chops or something over the top of this. It's got those garagey drums, so I'd be thinking in that way, like, okay, great flow down, build up, and then when it drops in, I'd be cutting something in that they know and recognize to like add to that amazing drop. So yeah, that's going in the playlist too.
Yeah, feeling that one?
Loving it. Yeah, thanks for bringing these vibes.
Different energy on this one. I think his vocal's been kind of trending lately on socials.
You know what? Summer's here.
Summer is here. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you're delivering them to me today.
Yes. This I played at a festival on Saturday, and this it was perfect. It was about sunset time, and I just played this as like one of my first tracks, and it was just like beautiful. This is Jungle back on 74. This is the Waypoint edit, but again, I'll put all the track lists in Discord.
So for me, it's up there because I'm obsessed with Jungle at the moment. I think all of their latest music is incredible. But I've not heard this liquid drum and bass remix before, so it just leveled up what I already love. Energy rating, this should probably go maybe a 3 or a 4 out of 5 for me, just because it's uplifting. Even though it's not a big drop, it's still got that uplifting vibe. So it's going to bring people's energy. It's still going to keep their energy up. It's not going to lull too much, I don't think. So again, it's versatile, that tune, because the vocal's probably known by a lot of people and they don't know why they know it. So yeah, I'd probably play that a lot of. You could play it at a bar and you could play it like in a club as well. So yeah, it's a vibe. It's nice. It's in. They're all in.
Cool. Right, this next one's weird. It's one of them tracks where I don't know if I love it or not. It's like a weird sort of track, but anyway, let's play it and see what you think.
Hold on, fuck that.
Oh, doing your thing, Oliver Dollar.
Fuck that shit.
Right. So I was obsessed with this original sample tune.
I got to start this motherfucking record over again. Wait a minute. Fuck that shit. Still on this motherfucking record.
Oh, so again, I'm gonna have an emotional attachment to this.
So you're already liking it.
Hey, y'all get some more drinks going on. I sound a whole lot better.
So going back to Do You Need New Music? Sometimes recycled music is like, it works really well.
Big time.
Fuck that.
I knew I loved it. I think I just needed like backing that this is a banger.
Do you know what's weird about like humans? Yeah. Just a little blippy sound gave me a mad reaction. Why? I don't understand. It's just a blip blip.
This is called Hua Moody Man.
Right. Yeah. So Moody Man was the original DJ where it was sampled. I think he played a set in Manchester, and it was a recorded set, and there was this awesome bit where it was like, hold on, wait a minute, let me start this motherfucking record over again.
Yeah. Drake sampled it on his album.
Did he?
Passion Fruit, yeah.
So yeah, Oliver Dollar. I love the Oliver Dollar version, Doing Your Thing, and I used to play it all the time. And actually, this is where, thinking about DJ skills, it was such a great hook of like, hold on, let me start this motherfucking record over again. Yeah. I used to use that hook and then like stop the track.
Nice.
Rather than just like play it, stop the track and let a pause happen for a while. And then again, sometimes I jump back and like replay a big section of the track. And there was loads I used to enjoy doing with it. So yeah, it's in the playlist for me. Energy level, 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I'm playing this sort of, quite early on, but I also might just like drop it in main set just because I still don't know what it is. Do you know what I mean? I'm still figuring it out, but I just know that I like it.
Well, thank you for sharing that one. That is great.
I'll tell you what, man, I love it. Like, I've got the screens in front of me. I'm loving the UNIQUBE. It looks sick on camera.
Yeah, man.
Right, let's do one more then. Different vibe.
See, edits is where it's at, isn't it?
Oh yes. Yeah. This has been going on.
So this is a great tune so far.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued to hear where it goes though.
I think it goes anywhere. Well, let's have a look. That's what. Yeah.
So you kind of get lucky with this track, I think, because the vocals, kind of recognizable. So good sample choice. But the downside is it doesn't do much. So you get an initial like, ooh, that's cool. But then everyone's waiting like, okay, but where's it going?
I'm just wondering if the last drop does anything because it looks.
Yeah.
Nah, it's the same. Yeah.
Just a hi-hat.
Yeah. What genre is that?
Some kind of bass house.
Yeah, bass housey.
It's kind of that. I don't know. It's got like the Moombatoni vibe.
Yeah, it's got that Moombatoni vibe. Quite
house.
fast for Moombaton, isn't it? But yeah.
Yeah. So again, I think energy levels, it's quite low on that one. Even though it's got a wobbly drop, I'd still say like a 3, just because it doesn't then step and take you anywhere.
Yeah.
I think as a DJ, you'd be a bit stuck with it. If it didn't hit and you didn't get a big reaction, you'd be like, oh, right, I need to think quick now and I need to move out of this tune. So yeah. You know what? Because we've had so many in it,
Right.
it's not going in this playlist.
You know what? I'm going to do a bonus
It's a good
one.
tune.
I'm going to do a bonus one because I've got it saved. So this one. Totally different energy.
Right.
Hey. Now we're talking warm up, aren't we?
Very much a warm up. Has it got the vocal in as well?
Yeah, I'll tell you vocal. What's that? It switches up.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's got that piano feel.
Yeah, straight up warm up. I love the fact that it has that 1, 2 before the drop, because there's so much you can do with that as a DJ. You know, you could cut that up 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and you can just play around with that and cut it in and out and then let the track drop. So it's really cool technique to be able to have those isolated vocals before. I'd say this. I would put this in like a DJ Tools folder.
Yeah. I've got this as piano edit as well. Like,
Yeah.
You can put a vocal over this as well. That's super
Exactly that. It gives you a lot of room as a DJ. I like tracks like this, so it doesn't go far, but it gives you room to do something else with it as a DJ, which I love. So you go in DJ Tools, it'd be maybe a 2 out of 5 energy rating, but it's still got a great vibe. Yeah, and I just love that you can do a bit of scratching with it. So that's going in the playlist.
Boom.
Right.
Awesome. Did you get to the comments so you can't get them?
I mean, I can have a look. Someone said nice sax.
Nice sax.
To be honest,
Don't worry, all of them tracks will be in our Discord, and it started to take off a little bit in that Discord, so that's great. Next week we are going to get into I've asked the question, like, what is your number one beef in the DJ industry on our Instagram? So go get involved on our Instagram now. Write some answers, and we'll read out some of your answers on next week's podcast, all about beef. Thank you for watching. Remember to check out wearecrossfader.co.uk and use the code OFFTHERECORD for 20% off any of our DJ courses, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.